Hello Aluxers, and welcome to today's video, which should give you plenty of inspiration as well as some practical tips to help you get what you really want from life. Maybe you're living from paycheck to paycheck and dream of saving up money, investing it, and becoming financially independent, but you just can't figure out a way forward. Maybe you're stuck in a job that you don't find rewarding, and you dream of starting a side hustle, but it just feels like a dream that will never come true. Or you might want to get into better shape, stop wasting money, or improve your relationships with those who are close to you, but it seems impossible to break out of the same patterns of behavior, which are only getting you nowhere. In today's video, we're showing you how the problem could be that you're thinking short-term instead of long-term. Short-term thinking happens when you only think about surviving toward the end of the week and then crash out an exhausted mess at the end of it. Long-term thinking is figuring out a plan to get out of the situation you're unhappy with. Short-term thinking is also staying on your couch because you feel comfortable there right now and you can't be bothered to move. Long-term thinking is knowing that if you make the effort to move, you can do something much more productive and rewarding. All of us do short-term thinking sometimes, and some of the time it's fine, but it's long-term thinking that really helps us get places and achieve big things. Whether we're good at long-term thinking or terrible at it, all of us could make some improvements here and there. And if you stick with us until the end of the video, we'll give you some tips on habits that you can develop to think more long-term and take more control of your life. Welcome to Alux.com, the place where future billionaires come to get inspired. If you're not subscribed yet, you're missing out. So, let's get off the couch and look at some habits that will help you snap out of the short-term thinking and get more into the productive long-term thinking mode. Habit 1. Visualize your future the way you want it to be. Yes, we know this sounds a bit new age and far out, and you might be expecting us to tell you to use healing crystals next, but stick with us. Psychologists tell us that visualizing the outcomes we want is a very effective way of starting to work toward them. If you want to be working in a better job or living in a nicer house or being in better shape, create a mental picture of your life how you want it to be and imagine yourself living that life in a realistic time frame. It could be a few months from now, or it could be 5 or 10 years from now or longer. The key is this isn't daydreaming, it's about creating a clear and realistic image of where you want to be and how soon you'll think you'll be there. That will help you start figuring out the actions required to get you there. And another tip from psychologists, a positive mental picture works better than a negative one. Here's a quick example. Let's say you've got a tendency to overindulge on the weekends and often end up with a hangover, which you want to avoid. When your friends invite you out for drinks on Saturday, you could do one of two things to help you control yourself. First option, create a mental picture of yourself feeling terrible on Sunday to discourage you from overindulging. Or second option, create a positive image of you getting up early the next day, going for a walk, spending quality time with loved ones or friends, and enjoying the day. The experts tell us that the second one works a lot better. Positive images motivate us more than negative ones, and when you start using them to motivate yourself to get a better reward further down the line, even if it's just avoiding a headache the next day, that's the first step toward mastering long-term thinking. Habit 2. Spend time thinking about what actions will get you there. How to avoid a hangover tomorrow is a pretty simple solution. It's just a question of having the willpower. But what if your goal is to generate a passive income you can live off? Or give up your day job and start a side hustle that will replace it? Or get into shape or learn a foreign language that will help your work or personal life? For these, you're going to have to put a strategy together. Think about all the details you can put into place, all the actions that combined can make your end result happen. Do the necessary research, talk to people, be confident that you can do it, but realistic at the same time. Many people find it challenging to think about the future because they feel limited by their finances, time they have available, fear, or other worries. But get into the habit of thinking beyond your current situation, and the more regularly you do this, the more ideas will come to you about how to get out of it, and in turn, the more you'll be able to put those actions together into a plan. Once you start thinking long-term, you'll realize you can improve your situation. You don't have to be trapped in your present circumstance. Habit 3. Set yourself small goals every day. At the start of each day, think of one concrete thing you can do today to move closer to your long-term goals. The goals you set for yourself could do with any number of things: your fitness and appearance, your career, your relationships, social life, your intellectual and personal development, your financial goals. You might have goals in more than one of these areas, or even all of them. Now, imagine you only do one action a month that's going to make these happen. It probably won't have much effect, right? But what if you set yourself one goal every day, no matter how small? Something you feel you can do during the day to make one of these longer-term goals happen. Bit by bit, these small goals add up, and it shouldn't be too long before you start to see some differences. Even if you feel like your life is busy and chaotic, take small actions every day to move that bit closer to where you want to be. Find 30 minutes to read about career moves on the internet, or do a module in an online course. Or if you want to get into shape, go for a run. Small actions every day will make a big difference over weeks, months, and years. Habit 4. Make habits 1, 2, and 3 second nature. Here's the thing. Thinking about how you want your future to be, figuring out the steps, and then doing something about it every day will lead to big changes. The more often you do them, the more your life will improve. And not only that, when you start doing them regularly, they'll become a part of your normal thinking process. Long-term thinking is like a muscle. Use it a lot and it'll become second nature. It'll influence more and more decisions you make for the better. You'll find you don't have to make a big effort to get off the couch and get to work on that project, because you know the long-term benefits it's bringing you. Taking the action with better long-term outcomes will start to come naturally. That's because you know exactly how they'll fit into a bigger plan, a plan that you're constantly thinking about and assessing as you progress through it. And you'll also notice that long-term thinking has a positive impact on everything you do, and you'll come to find that you actually gain more control over your life. Habit 5. Realize that long-term thinking makes you feel better. If you've taken care of the first 4 properly, this one will take care of itself. At first, you might feel like it's an effort to take other steps. You might feel like you're missing out when you leave a party early so you can be productive the next day. You might find it a stretch putting money aside so you can invest it. But once you've been doing it a while, you'll start to see the benefits. And then you'll realize you're more in control of your life than you ever were before. And you'll see that long-term thinking feels pretty good. The key is, once you see your life getting bit by bit closer to that vision you had, you'll actually feel happy making sacrifices to get there. That's because your mind is no longer preoccupied with short-term thinking. What makes me feel good in the moment? You're thinking long-term now, and you'll feel good about taking actions that help you get there in the long term. Habit 6. Long-term thinking as a way to get over setbacks. We all suffer from setbacks in whatever we do and however successful we are. They can crush us, or we can rise above them. The thing is, once you've got a longer-term perspective, a lot of setbacks can be easier to get over. That's because you have your end goals in sight. You can see yourself moving toward them, although you know they won't happen overnight. So you failed an interview for your dream job. Sure, it's disappointing, but if you've really been putting in the long-term thinking, you've put together a solid road plan of how to get toward that dream job anyway, and you know other chances will come up. Say you've lost your startup money this month. It's a painful ordeal looking at the bank, but you've taken lots of actions to put your startup into a solid position for long term. And you know that this is just 1 month. It can all be rebound and turned around to make money in others. Now, Aluxers, we hope you found today's video motivating and it's given you some solid tips you can put into action to change your habits and take more control of your life. Before you go, we've got a question for you. We'd love to hear you in the comments. In what ways do you think you can use long-term thinking to change your life for the better? We can't wait to hear from you. And as always, for sticking with us until the end, here's your bonus. When you set yourself goals, make them SMART. And that's SMART all uppercase. It doesn't mean smart as in intelligent, but it is that as well. SMART is an acronym that a lot of the most effective people use when they're setting goals. It means they set goals that need to be specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound. So you want to set a goal. Let's say improving your knowledge of computer programming. You could decide to browse the internet for tutorials on computer programming. You stick with it for a week and then give it up because you're too busy or not motivated enough. Or you could make the goals SMART. When you do this, you say, I'm going to complete a particular online course that I've chosen. That's specific. I'm going to pass the exam at the end of the course. That's measurable. I'm going to choose a course that's the right level for my current knowledge. I'm a beginner at programming, so I'm going to choose a beginner's course, not an advanced one. That's achievable and realistic. And I'm going to complete it and pass the exam by the end of August. That is time-bound. And of course, you have to hold yourself to the goal that you've set. This is a simple but effective tool you can use with career goals, life goals, relationship goals, personal finance goals, and fitness goals. Literally any kind of goal. And you'll find that once you start using it, you'll get a lot better at achieving the ones you set. Thank you for spending some time with us, Aluxers. Make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss another video. We also handpicked these videos, which we recommend you watch next. You can talk to us on all social medias or ask a question on our website, Alux.com. Thank you for being an Aluxer, and we'll see you back tomorrow.